we're going to hit almost close to 25 million
Is
again.
you don't want to run your own social media. It's super hard. You need someone dedicated to it.
You get what you pay for. You pay more when you let fools play with the tools.
Yeah. And I would say the most successful entrepreneurs I've ever worked with have that exact.
Welcome back to the Exit Rich podcast. I got a special guest here, Dan Antonelli from Kick Charge Creative. He literally is the man when it comes to branding, scaling companies. He's done my brands and helped me sell 6 different companies now. He's done Tommy Mello's brands. I mean, if you're not read his book, Brand It, Not Bland It, you're missing out here. I mean, this guy has ghetto. I mean, you name every big brand in home services you've done for the most part. You've been part of the home service community now. You know what you're doing. I do believe you're the best brand guy in the business. There's other people out there that do a nice job too. I mean, I have the abundance mindset of not one person can eat every fish in the ocean, right? But you're definitely leading the pack and you're doing it the right way. I've been friends with you for a long time now and, I appreciate you being here. So why don't you tell everybody who you are real fast? And congratulations on just buying the digital agency. Welcome to the hell.
Yeah, so I run a branding and digital marketing agency in New Jersey. We have about 55 employees. This is actually our 30th year. I started the company when I was 25 years old. I'm 55 now, so it's a little crazy to me that 30 years later, I'm still doing this stuff, but we have a great team. So what I love about what we can do, a lot of what we do is obviously brand centric in our approach, meaning that the brand is the most critical part of that marketing journey. But I love the fact that we can offer branding, traditional marketing collateral, digital marketing, social, email, and then strategy. So everything under one roof so that everything is on brand, no matter where that customer is in the journey in trying to hire a home service contractor. Everything looks the same. The voice is the same. The graphics are the same. All those things are super important. And that's kind of the philosophy in which we were founded on.
We're going to talk a lot about today about marketing. I believe marketing is the biggest piece to growing any business, right? Actually, sales is the biggest piece, but marketing plays into sales. If you don't have leads, you got no one to sell, right? So let's just talk. But I want to talk about this first, just for my own self-enjoyment, because I spent almost 30 years in digital marketing. Most people don't know. Most people do know that, but it's hell, man. Tell me what it was like. First of all, buying a company is not easy.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not. So you bought, if I believe correctly, Leveragey.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you're going to kill that name.
No, we didn't come up with that name.
No, I'm assuming you're going to kill.
Oh yeah, that's gone.
That's gone. Yeah, that name sucks.
Yeah, that's just folded in.
That name sucks. Not being rude, it just does. So talk to me about the process of buying it, because was it easy?
Those things are never easy. You've gone through. If you lie, I do want to. Not to say, oh my God, they're a piece of cake, and we talked to a number of different digital marketing companies, and you just try to see what synergies you have. And also, I think one of the most important things is what do they stand for? Is the product that they were offering and building for these home service companies, was it a legit product, right? Because digital marketing, as you know, has the worst reputation. There's a lot of smoke and mirrors type of stuff happening. And so we were very diligent, I think, in that process of making sure that these guys know what they're doing. They actually have a great product. They have great reviews. And they're delivering an amazing service, right? So that was most important to me, because if I'm going to put the Kick Charge brand name onto something,
Absolutely.
It's got to be legit. It's got to be 100% on par with what we're known for. So that was a big part of our sort of due diligence process, is really just making sure whoever we were considering for that acquisition, that they were aligned in values and in mission. And, that company had great reputation, was more of a boutique firm. So it wasn't like, sort of a marquee name within the home service space for digital marketing, but they had a decent following. I mean, right now we're at like about 50 home service companies that were managing all of their digital marketing. So they had a very good core group of customers. They had a average life expectancy or life term for every client was north of 3 years, which I
think long in the digital space,
which is pretty good, as you know.
That's very long.
And a super low churn, like 4%, 3% churn rate. So they're not bringing them in.
So it's more white glove service. It's not like, when I had my digital agency, I think I had 700 clients when we left, right? I mean, close to 100 employees, right? the churn rate was not even close to 4%. I mean, but that's most agencies. You know, yeah, we were friends a long. Yeah, everyone will bullshit you, like, we got no churn. You have churn if you own a digital agency, no matter who you are. You just have churn. It's impossible. Like as a branding agency, you probably don't have much churn unless you just can't get to the person. Makes sense?
Yeah,
I waited too long.
Yeah.
I can't wait any longer. That's probably your biggest complaint with branding. I'm assuming, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Timelines.
Timeline, yeah. So with digital, it's a little different. You could be crushing it for some. You had to get the call by now, and you go look, and you're like, "Yo, dude, your leads are increasing," and people. You had to get that call by now, and you just sit there and shake your fucking head like.
You get a couple of them. I'll tell you what. A lot of the ones that we've lost to PE. So the PE had their own digital marketing company. They acquired our client, and then they moved on. But some of the ROAS that we see on our marketing spend, they're 30, 40x, 50x. Like, and so I know we're doing great with them. And sometimes they still leave. And you're like, really? Like sometimes it's just nothing you can do. It's just the way it is.
Well, I look back on it and I see the PE firms leave, right? And they change their marketing. And now that I've sold the PE, so I see it from a different side because I've sold so many to PE.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, we're going to leave." And what's funny is the last two I sold now, the PE, I still handle their marketing. Like they don't pay me.
Yeah.
It's just part of our agreement because I rolled up into the fund.
Sure. Yeah.
Because they're afraid to lose the lead funnel.
Of course.
To the own people inside.
Right.
Like now that is funny.
Yeah.
Because I say to them, you can leave. But like one of the roofing companies I sold, as you know, they immediately changed and they went to their own internal people for fucking marketing. And it was a clusterfuck.
Yeah.
It was like a total nightmare. I'm like, what are you guys doing? Like the GMP disappeared. It went down. Like you name it, it went wrong because they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah. It's surprising sometimes that because you would say these guys are great at numbers, right? They got to be geniuses at numbers. And sometimes the numbers are literally right there. Like the data is right there. And then they still sometimes don't know how to interpret the data, which is weird to me.
I think I interpret the data. The problem is it's never the marketing person's problem inside. Makes sense? It's always the marketing company on the outside.
Yeah.
And the problem is this is as soon as the marketing company truly tries to help and deliver results to that marketing person inside that doesn't know what they're doing, that marketing person wants to fire you because you know more than them.
Right.
Like I was in your shoes for years. So like, right. So I know. And the problem is this is you can only be involved so much. Right. And so the guys that are CEOs, CMOs, and all these other people, they can't be down with the, I don't want to say everyday meetings. They don't even know what's going on in these meetings. And they're getting the wrong information funneled up. They're getting told, hey, listen, blah, 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 agency. They don't know what they're doing. They're shit in the bed. They missed this one timeline. We got to go find someone else.
Yeah.
And that's why they just blow through agencies. When really, if I was them and if I owned, I mean, you see here, LB Capital, we have a marketing person, there's quite a few of them. But really what we do is we use them to hold our agencies accountable that we work with.
Yeah.
And I understand the data. I'm fortunate. Bill understands the data.
Yeah.
So like, I know, but we manage it all. Here's a question for you. Home services. Let's just talk about marketing. Why do so many home service companies not do marketing? Because you see the same people at the conferences and we'll have conversations with them like, I'm not really, I'm spending 3%, 2%, 4%. I don't believe you can spend that amount and grow. Like, unless you have not penetrated your market. Like, I'm not talking about the guy that does $3 million a year, you rebrand them and you make it incredible. And then they spend 5%. Yeah, well, you're going to fucking grow. You had no brand before. You're driving around a white van, right? Common sense kicks in, right? I'm talking about the guy that's been around for 20 years, fully branded, and they spend 2-3%. And they're only growing by 5-6% a year. I don't, it's mind boggles me.
Well, you're on the other side of knowing what happens when you invest in marketing. And I think so many of these guys they're skeptical about that spend. Like, well, what really would happen if I did this? And you see the same thing even happening with branding. And the same guys that are 20 years with the business, growing very incrementally, small amounts every year, and they think that they're winning. And you're like, man, like if you just fix this, then you would be crushing it. And not only that, even if you were going to keep your marketing spend lower, it would go further because it's going to function better because it's memorable. It delivers promise. It delivers the notion of being trustworthy, like all these things. So I think sometimes I think I'm jaded in that sense because after 3,000 home service brands that we've created, and rebranded, I know what's on the other side of that equation. I don't have to guess about what's going to happen if this company chooses to rebrand. Like, I know what's going to happen. But for those who have never experienced it, those are the same people that are like, oh my God, like that much money for just the logo or that much money for just a brand. Like, I could just get that, my friend does it, or I could go to Fiverr, I could go to AI and get a logo. And you're like, really? Like, so like, but you know what happens when you invest in branding. Like, you've experienced it, you know what happens. But if someone who's never experienced it, they're like, oh, that's bullshit. Like, that's not going to affect me. That's not going to change my culture. That's not going to change my KPIs.
I don't want to go into too many details, but I gotta assume the Munns brand was probably your best ROI ever for such a fast turnaround.
Yeah. And I would tell you it was the fastest growing brand we've ever been a part of, I think. Also, when I tell people that story, they're like, no fucking way. That's bullshit. Like, you couldn't have done that. I'm like,
so this is a true story, guys. So you're listening to this, because this is where, like, and we've been friends for a long time. So I think you bet on me that I would deliver.
oh yeah.
So I worked out a deal with Dan. I said, Dan, listen, because Dan does all my stuff. I've always paid you. I said, Dan, why don't we work out a revenue share? Somehow we figured it out. I said, when I sell, I'll give you X amount. I'm not getting into the details. And you're like, fuck it, I'll do it. I said, but I want a cool kick. I don't want to lose the Munns name. And I just thought it was a strong brand. Like, you're like, it means nothing. We kind of argued about it a little bit, but I said, I can't lose the name. I'm on the runway 15 months. You're like, what? I think I'm on the runway 15 months, max 24. This thing's going to be gone. I get it to 25 million.
Yeah.
You believed. You weren't like, there's no way you're going to do it, Lance. You were like, I believe. You gave me the brand. I had it sold. By the time you gave me the brand, I think it was like 13 months later. Because we didn't rebrand to what, 4 months in? 3 months in?
Yeah.
So, and I paid you, and it was 6 figures. It was the best investment I made.
Yeah.
So if someone's complaining about 20 grand or 30, I don't know what you charge for a logo.
Yeah.
I mean, no, you can't, because the messaging came. Consider it done with Munns was a lights out statement for billboards, for everything. And I would have never came with that. Right now I'm rebranding the whole entire roofing conference, my whole entire coaching group. And I love, my slogan has always been build to sell it, build to sell it. And we looked at build to exit, and you played around with me for me, but hey Dan, I want build to sell. I just think it is, and you made me a beautiful new logo. It's not totally done.
It's almost.
But it's what people don't realize is you get what you pay for, and you pay more when you let fools play with the tools.
Yeah.
I mean, in just my opinion, like, I guess you are right. I've seen what marketing does, and I'm a marketer by trade, and I just like, because you're a lot more polished and nicer about it than I am with people. I don't even own a digital agency, because I'm like, when you come to my mastermind, you're part of my coaching group, I'm like, are you a fucking idiot? Like, what is wrong with you? Like, why would you not just invest in the SEO, PPC, Facebook ads, email marketing, a full funnel approach? Like,
doesn't make any sense, right?
But you deal with it every single day.
Yeah.
Now that you own a digital agency, and I know you're not on the sales side of selling customers, but you still hear things. Are you blown away by what's going on?
It's bizarre sometimes. Yeah, it really is. And again, it's sad, because these are people's livelihoods. These are people that you can change their lives if they believe in what we're doing. And I don't know how many more case studies, I don't know how many more examples of people whose lives we've changed with brands that we would need to have you believe in what we're doing. But I'm like, what else do I need to do? Which part don't you believe will affect it? And I think the other thing too is you're talking a lot about marketing, and you're talking about the impact of marketing. What people go through this process and they don't understand sometimes is what it does for mindset. So what it's like for your team to go out as Munns rebranded, and the confidence that they have when they ring the doorbell and they speak to Mrs. Jones, versus when we first rolled out Munns and you first acquired it. Like, what were they wearing? What were the trucks looking like?
They were garbage. And Chris is my boy, so I want to watch what I say. I don't want to be too harsh. He actually rebranded his own colors. I believe he did. My wife actually showed me the other day. I believe can you look it up for me, near, see if he rebranded from the, what was that maroon he had? It was
like gray and black and so.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah.
It wasn't the same vibe. But like, here's another example. Planet Roof.
Mm-hmm.
This one.
Is it way better? Yeah. What colors did he go for?
He went with the retro.
Let's see.
He went with the retro.
So he actually rebranded his logo to that.
Okay.
Listen, it's a
Chris, a little bit better. That's a little better.
That's an improvement, man.
Yeah.
It's an improvement from what that shit looked like. But here's my thing. I look at it with Planet Roof, and that's where like people don't really see is you go out to Pittsburgh. I partner with Planet Roof, as you know. I actually liked the logo, but I didn't pick up on it like you did. So we made the same deal. I sent it over to you. I said, listen, I'm not going to change it. I love the name Planet
Name
Roof.
great.
I just love the name.
Name is awesome.
And I said, I like the logo, Dan. And you were like, Lance, but the guy looks angry. I looked at it. I'm like, it fucking does look angry. I'm like, what is it? But I'm a man that you know me. I don't pay attention to details. I don't. I'm very quick to make a decision. You know me. So,
which is another trait, by the way. We could have a whole podcast on that particular trait because that is the other trait that so many guys just get completely hung up on and they cannot make a decision.
Oh yeah, no,
and working with someone like you, and I would say the most successful entrepreneurs I've ever worked with have that exact same characteristic where they don't need committees. They don't need a large amount of people to agree with them. They make a decision and then they own it and they run with it. And those are the guys, I'm telling you right now, if I would have pulled my most successful companies that I've rebranded and the characteristics of the owners, that is one of the key characteristics is that they make decisions quickly.
Yeah.
Side.
But yeah. I mean, like every decision I make, I always say this, if it takes me more than 5 minutes to make a decision, it's probably going to be a no. Because I just have to think too long. Like you should know is this a good thing to do or not. And I can change it if it's a bad decision real fast. But Planet Roof, we went from, they were doing $2 million a year in insurance work, if you remember.
Mm-hmm. No retail.
Yeah. And in our first full year, this year, by just rebranding, and we did all the marketing, which we're going to talk about, what worked, what didn't work, we're going to hit almost close to 25 million again.
Wow.
All retail.
Insane.
All retail.
Insane.
I mean, and that just shows you, it works. Listen, but even Roofing Pups, is going to do 17, 18 million down there.
Yeah.
That was only a $2, $3 million company.
Yeah. And I think for Planet too, I think I saw one of the podcasts where you were interviewing, I think it was Travis, right?
Great guy, great partner. And talk about the ideal partner, that guy's it.
And I remember when we first talked about rebranding them, and I was a little concerned because I felt like those guys didn't want to make a change.
Right? It was Adam. Yeah, Adam made the logo. He was so pissed. He was going bananas.
And it was interesting just to sort of hear you talking to them afterwards, where they understood afterwards why it made sense to change. But a lot of people never open that door to even allowing that to be a consideration. Right? They're very complacent in what they've had, and they say, what we had is working. Why would I ever want to change? But now they've experienced what that brand can do and the tagline and everything about that brand, and they're on the other side of it. And would they ever go back and say, you know what I mean? So like that's the thing is like now they know and now they're believers in it. But some people never get to that point where they get very complacent in what they've done. Like why did Aaron Gaynor rebrand with KickCharge when he was at 43 million in revenue? Who rebrands?
Want to go to 80?
Who rebrands at 43 million? And like, 43 million, nothing's working with my branding. I need to change. Like not many people have that mindset, but yet he understood that where he wanted to go, the brand wasn't going to take him there. And again, like knowing what's on the other side of that, he saw the success of Tommy Mello when we branded and some of these other companies, and he did it. But a lot of people will never, ever make that leap because they don't understand what it's like on the other side of that.
I think people also are scared of what they don't know.
Yeah.
I think honestly, sometimes people, entrepreneurs are like officials. I truly believe that. Like if you want to be a good entrepreneur, you can't give a shit of what this circus thinks of you. Like you go to a game, the officials, like even a little league game, I see these officials, these refs, they're throwing out the yellow flags and people are like, I'm like, goddamn, we're at my son's 10-year-old game here. People relax. But the officials have to have thick skin. As an entrepreneur, if you really want to be one, because entrepreneurs really only do one thing. This is what entrepreneurs do. They take companies, they grow them, they put a management team in there so it doesn't own your life, and then you sell it for money. You just do. And people are like, well, that's not true because look at Jeff Bezos. He's still at Amazon. And I start laughing. I'm like, Jeff Bezos took it public and is a billionaire. And if you think he really runs Amazon every day,
Yeah.
you're high as a kite.
Yeah.
Like, you're high as a kite. Now, granted, I'm sure he's in meetings about AI and some other changing things. But if you think Jeff Bezos is working from 7 in the morning to 10 at night every day, like he did when he started Amazon, you're high as a kite.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just not, right? It's too big.
Yeah,
The machine gets
sure.
too big.
Yeah.
Here's a question for you. What do you think are the strongest parts of digital marketing these days? I mean, they're getting a brand, but people want to know they're watching the show. Let's just say I had a we're going to start with this. We're going to play a game, right? Because this is what people used to do to me. I'm going to do it to you because this part of digital marketing sucks. If I have a $5,000 budget, where would you spend it for a home service company? Then we're going to do $15K and then we'll go up to $30K.
Uh-oh.
Give me the $5,000 budget. Where'd you spend it?
LSA as one of the key things. I think you should always be investing in SEO.
SEO, okay.
As another piece of it. And then I would make sure that the existing customer database is being nurtured. So email marketing and social to the existing customer databases. And then you just scale it. Like, I think the other...
That's going to eat up your $5,000 right there.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
That's checked, right?
Yeah.
So we got, for those listening to the Exit Rich podcast here, I mean, you're getting gold right now. LSAs, SEO, database, social media, email marketing. I mean, I actually agree with that right there. The SEO, I might not with on that budget, but we could talk about that.
Not a lot left for SEO with
Correct.
the budget.
Correct. So, but we can talk about that. $15K, where are we going?
All the same, more of the same, but I also would want to see a much more concerted effort to growing social media. So with video and doing things on YouTube, growing that audience, I think that is something that most people are not investing in. So they hire a social media company and the social media company is like, oh, can you send me pictures? And you're like, wait, now I'm doing the fucking social media. What if you had a company that would go out and just shoot 3 months worth of content and was on autopilot and then you didn't have to touch it, right? So that's the kind of stuff we're getting involved in, doing more of that stuff because you don't want to run your own social media. It's super hard. You need someone dedicated to it. So you got social media, again, more stuff focused on brand. I would start introducing things like you did for Munns. Like I would like to see some outdoor and some billboards as part of that mix. And
At 15K, you're not going to be able to do that.
Not
at 30K, you can out.
Yeah, 30K, yeah. And then thinking about, I know you've had...
You got it for Planet too. You did the billboards.
Yeah.
You did the billboards.
Yeah,
for Planet.
one of my favorite billboards, honestly. But I think the other things that you've also done, you've done some stuff with some of the, I think it was Angie's, right?
I'm a big aggregator guy.
Yeah.
I believe in the aggregators.
Yeah.
Other people don't. I believe your job is to compete for people's business. I believe you compete it for your girlfriend. I believe you compete to get your kids to listen to you, right?
Yeah.
I believe you compete to get our family here at business to move the train the right way and move it the same direction. I believe we have to compete for our customers every single day and make them happy. I think most people don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I think most people, and aggregators, you definitely have to compete.
You do. And you got to have a mechanism to deal with the leads properly, right? Because that's the other complaint is, speed to lead is important, right? You
but
know
that's
that.
not really hard because at this point you should be a technology company. You're spending
It is hard for some though. It is. That's why they hate it. That's why they hate the media.
because they're not set up properly.
Yeah.
I mean, like the thing is, you could go spend 30 grand a month on, I'm going to give you an example. One of the guys that's in my coaching group, he's a friend of mine, right? And I love him, right? He's a really nice guy. I don't want to tell you what area he's in because I'm going to talk about him, but he knows I'm talking about him anyway, right? And he's a really nice guy. And he said, Lance, I got a marketing problem. That's how he talks. He's a real calm guy. I got a marketing problem. I start looking at his P&Ls. I start looking at stuff. I open up his market. So I open up Service Titan. And I see a 4% close rate on sales. 4%. And I said, my man, you don't got a marketing problem. You got a closing problem.
Yeah.
I was like, these guys couldn't sell coffee at Dunkin' Donuts. He said, what? I said, these guys couldn't sell coffee at Dunkin' Donuts. He's like, they're my friends. These are great guys. They go to church with me. I'm like, they might be the best fathers, the best people in the world, but they're shitty salespeople.
Yeah. They need to pray for more sales, I guess.
But nobody ever wants to blame. Now, you know, scenario. 600 abandoned calls somebody had.
Oh my God.
600 abandoned calls last month. I don't have a digital agency. I got no dog in the fight, so I don't give a shit. I tell people.
It's always the digital marketing companies.
Like, people would not want me back in the digital space because heads would roll.
Yeah.
Because I would be the biggest agency inside of a year for one reason. I wouldn't give a shit because I'd say to any client of mine, listen, I've been through this for 17 years of hearing your bullshit. I don't need to anymore. Let me just tell you the real story. Your CSR sucks.
Yeah.
There's 600 abandoned calls. Here are the 600 abandoned calls. You want to fire me? You want to fire her?
Yeah.
You decide. Because she sucks.
And
I don't.
I think it's so funny that you're saying this too, because what you know what Searchlight is, right? You know what Searchlight is? I love Searchlight because Searchlight, first of all, holds the digital marketing company accountable.
It does.
But secondly, you can identify all the problems that are happening on an operational perspective, and it's right there in black and white.
People don't want to hear about their operations.
No, they don't. But like, I'll give you an example. We just had a client, he had a $9,800 ad spend with us, and we generated $800,000 worth of revenue opportunity. Imagine that, like 100 to 1.
Yeah.
Crazy numbers, right? His booked amount, the closed sales was 400. So I'm like, dude, what happened to the other 400,000 in revenue opportunity? And then you look at his booking rate, and his booking rate was south of 40%. I'm like, dude, what is happening with why are our booking rates horrible? So like, you can't run from the data, you can't hide, but it's right there for the owner to see. If I solve my booking rate at 40% and I could get that even just to 60%, that's another $200,000 in revenue right there. Like
they don't, the data to them is just fake money. It's like all bullshit. Like that's the problem.
It's fake money. So until you have it, it's fake money, I guess. But yeah, no, I get it.
I had, I'm not gonna say who, I had a guy I was talking to probably 3-4 weeks ago, right? And he said to me, the dating world's really tough out there. I believe the dating world is really, really tough out there in this day and age, right? And this is where like I compare data to business owners and managers, right? And he goes, and I just said to him, I said, it's really tough for you, huh? He goes, yeah. I said, well, did you think about brushing your fucking teeth? He's like, what? I'm like, dude, you got shit on your teeth. I'm like, no offense, you're overweight. This is a 40-year-old guy. I'm like, you're overweight, like overweight. I'm like, it's tough for you because you're not doing the proper things to get dates. As like appearance matters.
Yeah.
The same thing when you're an entrepreneur. It's tough for them, their businesses to grow because the data matters. The data is the only thing that matters.
Yeah.
And people don't want to look at data when it comes. And I don't really live by data.
I love data. I love data. That's why I did the second bit of the book.
I bet you didn't 10 years ago.
No, like I said, I didn't understand it as much. I didn't understand the impact.
But then who'd you start hanging out with?
Well, people that study data. Tommy Mello told me so much about data and the numbers and goal setting and what's the relationship between booked calls and revenue and close rates, like all those things. It's not actually rocket science. Like it's very logical if you look at it.
It's the most elementary part of success that I've ever had.
Yeah.
Hey everyone, thank you for joining us today. I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors, Service Titan and Rilla, our technology of choice to helping us scale and grow our business and making sure all of our viewers have the technology to scale their business so when they want to sell it, they're able to. And that's the only reason I'm successful at it, because I'm not a smart guy. I tell people that, Dan. You know me a lot of times, you gotta be like, damn, this dude sold 6 companies. Hell, right? I know you bust my balls about it, Dan. You have to behind my back.
Well,
yeah,
as far as you know.
But no, all joking aside, it's so elementary.
Yeah.
It just really is.
And it's all math. Like that's all it is. Most scribes give you but it's not even complicated math. It's like you want to build up Planet Roof to 25 million in revenue. You know exactly how many leads you need per month. You need exactly
how many people you need to handle leads.
What your average ticket must be, what the close rate is, like and it's just numbers, right? So again, like you work backwards from those goals, and that's how you determine how much you should be spending on these different channels, right? I mean, that's like
how many people actually do that exercise with you though? And be honest, how many?
Not many.
There you go. So that's crazy to me because we do it all the time.
Yeah.
Like we're constantly doing it, looking at it. Here's a question for you. SEO's changed. Some people think SEO is dead. I just want your verbiage on it.
Well, it was interesting. Right before Pantheon, Google had a conference and Camp Digital, you know Katie from Camp.
You're friends with her. She runs a great organization.
She runs a great shop. And I had clients at that Google meeting.
I was there.
Yeah. And they were texting me the pictures and how Google was so focused about talking about brand. It wasn't about AI search. It wasn't about anything related to that. It was how important it is for the visibility of your company on these different platforms, these different channels, YouTube, Facebook, organic, those types of things, right? So I just think it's kind of interesting that Google themselves are talking more and more about how important your brand is.
When they talked about AI search a lot, they were just saying they brought brand in. And what they were saying is
Yeah.
you can't have a shitty brand. You can't have a bad brand. Your brand awareness is going to affect where
100%.
everything else. And that's common sense, Dan.
Well, no, it's not. It's not. You think it's common sense because you know what it's like. You understand that. But that's not common sense to people.
Yes, it is. That at this day, there's no way you're trying to tell me people don't.
Come on, dude. Like, why are people paying like $200, $300, $400 a lead? Why?
Well, I mean, in some markets, you just have to. That's what it is. Like, that's a fact. Now, if you want to say get a blended one with your brand, yeah, that number comes down.
Yeah.
But your agency, I'm telling you right now, and no fucking agency out there is getting an HVAC lead, non-branded, not blended, in Arizona.
Well, you want to Phoenix or Vegas. So yeah, no, I get it.
Like no one's gonna. I don't care who you. I'm gonna call bullshit to anyone that says that, and I'm gonna say, listen, anyone that tells me that, I got $1 million. I'm gonna put up on the table. You put your $1 million up, and I guarantee you, I walk away with the $1 million.
But let's look at
now blend it. I'll take it. Like a blended one without a doubt, those numbers come down significantly. And this is what is more important. That's why I wouldn't be selling people on Dan if I was you. Is that what I would sell on this is the first thing private equity firms look at is what is your direct traffic to your website and to your LSAs and GMB. They want to see your name brand and what that value is to revenue.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
That's really where, that's the first thing they look for.
Yeah.
And if you're paying on aggregators and you're probably not going to sell to a private equity firm.
Yeah.
Like that's just,
that's where all the lead sources come.
no, I'm just telling you honestly, like that. So like, that's why I'm not trying to get heated with you. Cause I love, so everyone I meet is like, who is the fucking guy? I love him. The young kid who was trying to tell me his people pay $200-$300 per lead in roofing. And like, he was naming some of the states. I was like, dude, you're smoking a joint right now. What's the fucking young kid's name?
Roofing company?
It was the digital guy. What's his name? There's all the PPC.
Oh, the guy from South Africa?
Yeah, no, not Dean. Dean's a good guy. Dean, listen, Dean has no bad intent, but he does the whole blended thing too, which I get it. Like, I get why you put the blended in there, but you also have to separate the two, I believe, and show a customer.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's where PPC, but Google isn't the bid system everyone thinks it is. They raise their own pay-per-click themselves because simple. They know what the average job of some of these services are worth, so they're like, they're going to pay for it.
Yeah. Well, let me talk 1 second about why I did the second edition of the book, because we're talking a lot about data.
I'm going to read the second edition. I haven't read the second edition. I've been lying to you, but I do appreciate you bringing me the book.
So one of the things that I did is after I published the first edition, which was a little over 3 years ago, I started collecting data and I started saying, okay, in as much as we love making pretty things and pretty brands, pretty truck wraps, websites, all these other things, who cares if it doesn't convert, if it doesn't lead to increased average tickets, booking rates, close rates, all those other things. So I compiled all this data. And there's one study that we did that I just want to share with people where my friend Eric at Rival, he had about
Rival Digital?
Rival Digital, yeah. Had like 60 or 70 companies that are managing the digital marketing. And out of the 60 or 70, believe it or not, 25 of them were Kickcharge clients. So I said, Eric, do me a favor, run some numbers for me. I want to know how the 25 Kickcharge brands perform in comparison to the 25 non-Kickcharge brands. And tell me what you can, there it is, there's months in there. So tell me what the data shows. So he gave me the data on branded keyword searches. So how many people are searching the name of the company on a monthly basis compared to the 25 non-Kickcharge brands. So that number was about 550 to 50.
Oh, I believe that.
So 550, so 10x people are searching your name. Okay, so all right, great. They know your name. They go to your website. Now what happens? What's the conversion rate when they land on that homepage? Okay, another good metric, right? Another good KPI. So the Kickcharge,
if you did the website, if you did the brand and you did the website, it should be high. It
should be higher, right? So I think the standard is, you know, around 10% or something.
For a branded search term?
Yeah,
yes.
Something like that. So the Kickcharge brands were converting at 12%. And the non-Kickcharge...
Wait, hold on, we got... I'm going to say less than 2%.
No, not quite that bad, but 6%.
Oh, so here.
So double. So Kickcharge brands double the conversion rate and 10x the number of branded keyword searches happening per month. So why is that happening? Well, again, the trust signals that are happening, all that visibility within the community, seeing the trucks, establishing trust. They hit the website. I've seen that truck in my neighborhood. I've seen that truck there. I've seen it with Mrs. Jones. Okay, they must be doing a good job. Like that data, you can't make up that data, right? So that's when, Google's talking about the importance of brand. That's part of it. Like your PPC campaign, your LSA campaign is going to be infinitely more successful if people know who you are. If they've never heard of your company, then why is that going to convert? And you've experienced that.
Yeah, well,
You know how much better months convert.
I'm going to break it down for you just off of it right there, off that data. And this is where like I'm just a data junkie.
Yeah.
So at 50 searches, right? 50 searches at just say the 5% conversion, right? 6%, I just say 5. That takes you to, and if I now only convert 5% of my site, I'm at 2.5%. That takes me to $25,000 in total revenue, right? For that one company search. If I took the 550, the 10x, did a conversion, times 12%, that takes me to 50 jobs.
Yeah.
Right? Times 10,000. So I'm using the math here.
Yeah.
Takes me to 500,000. I literally just do the math. And that's where like you just do the numbers real fast. 25,000 versus 500,000.
Right.
Total revenue.
Yeah.
Like, it's really not hard to figure out where to put your, like, that's where I took it one step further. And I just used 10,000, just say your average someone, HVAC, took them in, whatever. But like,
that's when people say branding's expensive. I'm like, really? How much is not branding?
I was just going to say that. I mean, I think people, listen, one of my favorite names is the name Tristan for a guy or a girl, right? For whatever reason, Tristan. How many Tristans do you meet?
Not many. I know a couple, but yeah.
For whatever reason, every Tristan has a little swagger. It's like they're branded. I think the name Tristan is like you're branded, right?
This has got to make the highlight reel, by the way.
No, I feel like the name
Any Tristans out there?
I gotta say, you're branded, baby. It's like my son Hammer. He's branded. Everyone calls him Hammer. You're branded. Like either you're like LB Capital, right? Like me and you were talking about, should I rebrand it with the build to sell it? And you just said, Lance, there's just too much too much brand capital equity in it at this point.
Yep.
And it's only a 2-year-old brand. But then like my team, we thought about it. We're like, everyone does know who LB, everyone home services knows who LB Capital is at this point. And if you don't, you're probably
not paying attention.
You're not paying attention. Yeah. I mean, so that was off the table. But the build it to sell it, was an easy choice for us to rebrand the conference and everything else we're doing around the conference.
Yep.
Which, what's funny is I got to go back to the book here because I saw a plan in here. I'm assuming Months is
in there too.
Right?
Yep. Yep.
And the two I could speak about the most, right? But even one SEO, because you helped me with that logo. Remember, you helped me clean it up because I just wanted the pure Superman shit and you fixed it up. But that's 3 companies. Now, you did Cherry too, right?
Cherry, yeah. Cherry Roofing was a great name, just didn't have a great brand.
And you rebranded that.
Yeah.
I mean, so did you do Shock IT with me or no?
Did not do Shock IT. Always wanted to, but did not do that one. It's not a bad brand.
Did you do Paint and Puffs too or no?
Yes. Yeah, we did Paint.
So you did 5 of the 6 you touched.
Yep.
So just think about that if brand doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Just think about that. If brand doesn't matter, 5 of mine, you did.
You got Salty Dog too. That's another one.
I didn't sell yet.
I know, but
well, you did Salty Dog.
Yeah.
You're redoing True Choice right now.
True Choice and I Am Roofing.
You're redoing that, and you did Lee's Roofing also for us.
And
that's gonna go. You also did Lee's.
You did Lee's. Yeah,
you did Lee's.
We did Fetch Tech also.
Fetch Tech sold.
Yeah.
What does that tell you? A1 you did. It sold. I mean, guys, success.
Absolutely, there's a few clues.
I mean, it just does. A few. Here's a question for you. I'm going to put you on the hot seat, right?
Uh-oh.
People say you're expensive. They do. That's the number one thing I hear about you. I don't think you're expensive. I'll stick up for you and say that. But why do so many people think you're expensive?
Why do so many people think we're expensive? I'm not sure they fully understand the depth of work that goes into building a brand and what's involved in the resources that we bring to bear when building a brand. So more than just, again, pretty logos, pretty truck wraps, what's the thought process behind it? What's the psychology behind the branding. So consumer psychology is also another really large chapter in the book where we talk about the psychology behind brand. And, that's 30 years of crafting that expertise. So I don't necessarily agree when people maybe think that it's expensive when I think about the value of what's provided. And I will say this too. I can't think of a single instance that anyone's gone through the experience and then 6 months after is like, oh yeah, we overpaid for branding. No, nobody ever says we overpaid brand. They always say, shit, you should charge more. You should charge more.
You want to know why I think people think you're expensive?
Yeah, tell me.
I think because people peddle dog shit. No, I mean, that's seriously. I think social media has become such a place
Yeah, there's a lot
where
of crap.
people just talk crap. Where
Yeah.
people just, they go do a Chat GPT logo, or they steal one of your brands, which I've seen multiple people do, and do a spin off of it. And I just think people just peddle dog shit, and they don't build businesses, and they don't understand the psychology behind messaging, the psychology of making people feel good.
Yeah.
And brands and logos make, there was a guy in Coke. I don't know if you ever heard this story. And he was over in a third world country, and nobody could get it to go. Coke, just like 40 years ago, no one could get it to go. No one could get Coke off the ground there. So he sent this young kid over, VP, and he said, "Listen, if you can get this to go, finally someone gets to go." I think he was like the 11th or 12th VP to go to Coke there, and he went over there, and he's like, "The Coke brand's the #1 brand in the world. How's it not making it here?" So he watches for about a week, and he realizes all the trucks are dirty. And he says, "We're going to build a car wash." And they're like, "What?" He's like, "We're going to build a car wash." Builds a car wash. They thought he was crazy.
Yeah.
Every morning, every night, he cleaned the trucks. It wound up becoming their fastest growing, one of their best places.
Yeah.
People could see the brand. They recognized the brand.
Yeah.
All he did was let the brand be seen, and people bought Coke.
Makes sense. I want to say one thing too, because you brought up a point about pricing, and I want to give an example of something that happened recently.
I'm not busting your chops.
Not at all, but I
I got to ask the question. It's on here.
it's a good
I
question.
know we sway from these things. I got a few more. I know we go off tangent because I just like rapping with people.
It's a good question. So we had somebody come to us and they said, Dan, we want you to rename our company and do our branding. So we said, okay, great. We gave him a whole proposal. And a couple weeks go by, we don't hear back. We follow up. He said, I found somebody that's going to do it cheaper. So I said, okay, best of luck to you. I hope everything works out well for you. And if anything changes in the future, keep us in mind. That's all.
Absolutely.
So another company that does budget branding proudly posts this job that they just launched, and one of my team members sees it, and the name of this company that they just launched was a brand name that we had federally trademarked. It was one of our off-the-shelf brands.
Is this the Grasshopper story?
No, it's not. It's not the Grasshopper story. So it's a different brand name. So I look at the phone number that's on the truck, and we put it in HubSpot, and sure enough, it's the same guy. It's the guy who called us up originally and then decided to go to a budget place. So we're like, the post was mentioning that they were about to wrap 7 trucks now with this new logo with a trademark name that I own. I personally own it. So I'm like, well, what do I do now? Do I let this guy wrap 7 trucks and then send him the cease and desist? Because that would be a total dick move, and that's not how I roll.
No.
So we called him up and we said, hey, just heads up, here we own the trademark to that name. You can't use it. And it wasn't hard to figure out. All you had to do was type in the name and the word trademark next to it, and it was the first fucking listing.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh my God, they sold me a trademark name that belonged to someone else. I can't believe they did that. I knew I should have gone with you in the first place. What should I do? What can I do? And I'm like, well, you can't use that name, first off, and you're going to have to tell them that.
Change his name?
Yeah, he changed his name to something else. But again, those are the types of things that happen.
What happened with Grasshopper?
Grasshopper, there was a company that was near them called Garden Grasshopper that did landscaping, and they didn't like that she was using the word grasshopper for a heating and air conditioning company.
And she won.
And she won. Yeah, it was bullshit to begin with. She had a federal trademark on her own name to begin with.
She's a pretty nice person. I like her. I got to spend some time with her lately. She's just like a nice human being.
She's running an amazing operation.
And she's doing in the HVAC space what I'm doing in the roofing space.
100%.
And she seems like she really cares too. Because there's so many frauds out there.
Oh, yeah.
There's so many guys out there taking people. No, let's talk about that real fast. I just have another question to ask you, but goddamn, now we get on this tangent. No wonder the doctor said she should be medicated sometimes, but that's okay. But here you go. Ready? Why do people do business with all these people that say they sold companies? Because you know the 6 companies I sold. You can name every brand.
Yeah.
You can name every brand. You know who I sold to.
Yeah.
Why do all these people that never sold a company go out, they sell company, they say they did it, all these fake gurus, and people are handing them equity in their companies, they're handing them their companies, they're giving them things, and these people are getting ran into the ground.
Yeah. It's sad. I mean, honestly, I can't.
I mean, I was just talking about this.
I can't explain it. I don't know why. Like, you would think, hey, I'm gonna do more due diligence on this. I'm gonna talk to 5 other companies that they've done this for. So hey, I can
at least some of the brands.
Yeah, I can make sure that, hey, it was a great experience for them. It's sad because you just feel like people are being preyed upon. So I don't have an answer for it. It's
But you see it, right?
kind of bizarre. Yeah, I see it all the time, and it, again, you hear some of the really sad stories about people who spent their whole lives trying to build something, and then they partnered with the wrong partner, and then everything, went to hell. But the stuff that Amanda's doing, like
He's doing well.
she built Grasshopper to 25 million in revenue, and I think in 3 years, and has a playbook to follow. Very invested in leadership and growing her team. And
I saw what she did with Hummingbird. And I love Chad. Right? He's a great guy.
Yeah, yeah.
And listen, I got not a bad word to say about Chad. Great guy. And it's right, like he went there, and I think when I knew Chad, I still know Chad, so I'm not saying, I think he was doing like 1.5 billion. I think he's doing $8 million like 2 years later.
Now, yeah.
That's amazing. And you did that brand too.
Yeah, I did that brand as well.
This ain't a shot at Chad. Like, I think Chad's a great guy. Chad, I love you, but your wife's the operation, the brains behind that operation, and Amanda definitely is. I'm not being rude, and Chad, you're one of the hardest working dudes I know, man. Like, he is, but like, you just tell what they've done, his wife and Amanda.
Yeah.
And that's not a shot at Chad. I hope you know that, Chad. And Dan, like, he's a great dude. Like, I love the guy, but
I'm sure Chad would say the same thing. That's a good guy. But no, and I think Amanda's brought these processes. Amanda's very deep in data. She's got an amazing marketing machine. She works with Brianna, and Brianna just slays it. Like, Brianna's a fucking genius, probably the smartest person I know in marketing. And she's partnered with people that I think want to grow their business, but are missing some of those qualities that she can help with.
listen, when people come to me to partner, I always say this. If you want to sell your company in 24 to 36 months,
right,
I'm probably the guy.
Yeah.
Right? Not being arrogant.
Yeah.
I've done it now multiple times. If you want to work really, really hard for those months, and everything's going to change. Same thing that with Amanda. Systems, processes, leadership.
Yeah.
Your whole life is going to get turned upside down.
Yeah.
I think for the better.
Yeah.
Right? I think for the better. I believe that with all my heart. And you're going to get a meaningful exit that changes your family's life for the rest of your life.
Yep.
And I say it to everyone because like, people don't realize a check for 5 million, 10 million, not everyone's check. Like, everyone thinks you're going to be the next Tommy Mello. And you can be the next Tommy Mello if you want to be. I truly believe anyone can be. It's special what he's done.
Yeah.
But that dude sacrificed. Like,
oh, yeah.
And he still sacrifices. I'm not sacrificing like that. You're not sacrificing like him. Like, that dude, morning, noon, night, the motor don't stop.
Yeah.
I mean, yes or no?
Yeah, no, 100%.
I mean,
yeah.
So I just think it's easier to take a company and sell it for 30 million than it is to go sell for 300 million.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's really not that hard to get a company to be worth 30 million. You know, you and I both know that. It's just the right inputs. What's the difference between branding and marketing? Because that's the question I got here that I need to know. What's the difference between branding and marketing, in your opinion?
Branding is raising awareness of what you do, and then marketing is the channels that you use to try to get the sale. I think that's probably one explanation. So you think about the mechanisms to try to promote the company, and those paid mechanisms is more on the marketing side, and then awareness is more on the brand side. So how do I get somebody to know you exist? therefore making your marketing actually function better and have a better ROI.
You know, that's correct. PE's coming in, you see they're coming everywhere. I just referred to Tommy. I'm going to use him again because I said anyone could be a Tommy. I said he sacrificed. But when I say he sacrificed, he didn't just sacrifice his time. He sacrificed being a constant student. The dude knows more about numbers, knows more. Like he's a student to marketing. He just put to a CSR to the production. Like he's a student to every piece of the puzzle.
Right. But what other characteristics you would say about Tommy is Tommy doesn't have an ego. Tommy doesn't believe that he's the smartest guy in the room or that he needs to be the smartest guy in the room. And he's always seeking out knowledge from any source. No
I think people, once you get to a certain level, you don't care if you're the smartest person in the room. You just want to win.
Yeah.
Like not being like, I don't give a shit. Like you see me, all my people are smarter than me.
Yeah.
All I want to do is win. I don't care how we get there. Just as long as it's ethical, we're doing it right by our customers, right by our employees, we win.
Yeah.
I'm good to go. I could be the dumbest guy in the room. I could care less.
Yeah.
like
if you're the smartest guy in the room, then you're not in the right room, honestly.
That is the truth. That is the truth. So what do you think about PE coming in? That's my last question for you because so many people want to sell. PE's coming into everything. They're getting bigger and bigger to roofing. And now they're going into generators even more. They've already been in electrical. They're going into painting, tree services now. They're going, that's why I'm changing the conference to build it to sell it.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's what we're going to build these companies, everyone. We're going to sell them for a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
So can we talk about that?
Yeah, 100%. Here's what I would say is on your journey, if you're privately owned and you're trying to figure out how do I compete with these companies, think about the things that they typically are not doing well, right? What are the areas that they're not investing as much money as maybe you could be or how much time as maybe you could be? So I always look at the visibility within the community is one of the things that I don't see them spending an awful lot of time on or investing in, meaning what are we doing to support the community within 5 miles of where you're looking?
They don't even look at that. It's not even a thought process.
So am I sponsoring the soccer team? Am I sponsoring the softball team? Am I going to the 4th of July parade? Am I going to the Halloween parade? Am I throwing candy out from my branded truck? Are we doing any of those things?
No.
Right?
Absolutely not.
So I think
most of them,
I think looking at those opportunities as how do I invest back into my own community? And also, how do I educate the community on what's actually happening with these PE-owned companies? Because they don't even know that half these companies, you could interview 100 people in Bucks County and ask them if they know if Horizon is PE-owned. And they won't even understand the concept of what that might even mean probably. How many people out of 100 would probably know that?
I don't think, truthfully, contractors, 95% of them know PE companies own other contractors. Probably people say to me all the time, man, I didn't know PE firms bought other companies. They say it all the time to me.
We created this template, and people can go to kickcharge.com and click on the free resources and download this template. But we wrote a template for a privately owned contractor to use to email every one of their clients explaining what is happening in the market and who they are within the community that they serve. We're the people that our children go to the high school, our children participate in the sports, our family's been here for generations. The other companies are being run by people not even from this state, right? And really just trying to get that narrative out. So I think there's ways to combat some of that narrative and have people understand.
So you're not a fan of the PE ball company?
It's not that I'm not a fan of them. I think there's ways that you can do better at certain things. I also, again, when we talk about numbers, it's still wildly ironic. You could look at the portfolio of many PE-owned companies and you look at the brands under their umbrella, and God, there's some awful ones that they acquire and they never fix them. They never invest back in brand. I should say they never, because we work with a lot of them that understand the value of.
Some of them do.
But
I mean, like, I think it's a double-edged sword. I think PE guys, I think there's a place for PE firms. I do. I think they made a lot of contractors wealthy, including me. I'm not a contractor. They made me wealthy. Listen, I've been paid very generously by them, and I have great relationships, and I thank God for them. They changed my family's life, and they all, and all those companies are still running. They're still operational. They're all making money, and they're all moving forward, right? So it's a great deal for them, right? The employees, I think, get a better outcome. I think a lot of times working for PE firms, they have more security. Do you lose some of the family feel? Do I think with marketing, you're right. You got to differentiate yourself from a PE firm because you're not going to compete with their money, their budgets, their sophistication. You're not.
Yeah.
But I think it's good. I do. I really, really do. And I mean, shit, I'm changing everything to build it to sell it for a reason. That's how much I believe in it.
Yeah.
I know not everyone agrees with me. I'm not their cup of tea, and that's okay. I mean, you sold part of Kick Charge.
Yeah.
And eventually you're going to sell that whole thing. I mean, you're not staying in it forever.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you're not. I don't care who. I mean, how old are you now?
55.
55. You had a fucking heart attack, dude.
Yeah.
You almost died.
Yep.
You're not staying at Kick Charge till you're 70.
No.
I mean,
That I can say for sure.
but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, 100%.
Nothing wrong with that.
But I think like we talked about, just what are the opportunities, right? So I tend to see PE overspending on marketing because it's easy to overspend on marketing. And that's why when you look at acquisition costs and you look at some of the money that they're spending as a percentage of revenue on that, and I say, well, how does the little guy compete with that? What are they going to do to compete with that? And being visible within their community and having everyone within 5 miles know they exist, that's one way you can compete against, because you're not going to compete against them on LSA or do it very effectively, because they're gonna just outbid you, and it's gonna cost you a small fortune to acquire every single customer.
Yeah, the paid part, you're not ever going to compete with them. That's just
So you know, I just always recommend to the people that are worried, and I think it's a healthy worry. Like, you should be worried about what is happening and how the market is changing. But what can we be doing? What can we be doing differently? And embracing what that brand can help you with, I think, is something that is a weakness on PE. Like, it's bizarre to me, because again, you say these guys are great at numbers, and then you could look at these crazy acquisition costs and you're like, well, why don't you fix some of this stuff? Why don't you fix looking
you have to prioritize what you fix.
Yeah,
and you got
but if you're going to sell in 12 months, yeah, we're not going to rebrand. If you're going to sell in 24 months, yeah, maybe.
I'm not rebranding if I have to. Listen, true choice I gave you, and I am roofing. Now, I'm sure they're not your cup of tea names, but I said, damn, we can't rebrand them. I need new logos, new color schemes. I said, I don't give a shit what you do with them, did I? I said, I just can't change the names. Like, I give you full autonomy because that's why I hire you for, right?
Yeah.
Like, but to change a name inside of 24 months, I think would be just stupid.
But you are rebranding.
I am rebranding. Absolutely, because
you know what it means, what it can do.
Because if I have a logo, a story, and a message, and it's not just about the logo, and I keep saying logo because that's just the first thing to do it.
Yeah.
But it's the website, the messaging, my truck wraps. Like, I don't have one. We're clearing all the truck wraps off boat days. We're just partnering with right now, because I know you're going to give me a new truck wrap that's going to pop, and the color scheme is going to pop. Even the build it to sell it. Do we have to build it to sell it a new logo?
Not the new logo.
It's not all the way done, but look at that compared to what I have now for the roofing process conference. And come on, you can't compare the two.
Yeah.
Right? Like, when we saw that build it to sell it new logo, I know it's not all the way done. Like, everyone felt good about it. Like, it gave you, so I don't know. I think they just prioritize. I call it the Kelly syndrome. I love Kelly. She does what I call the zigzags, right? And she's going to be probably the best entrepreneur ever that's ever been under my wing when she goes out on her own one day, because she does a zigzag. But she doesn't know how to prioritize and say, I got to aim small, miss small for every little thing. And PE firms are very good at that. They have a priority list, and they say, let me aim small, miss small.
Yeah.
And obviously, their biggest hurdles they fight are trying to get the best rebates, trying to get the lowest pricing.
Yeah. And it's it's a hit to the numbers. It's a hit to the bottom line. If you got to rewrap 20 trucks. I mean, I understand that part of it. I think I would ask you the question and say, and it's like, not that I'm asking this question because I think I deserve all the credit, because that would be insane. But like, do you think Munns gets to where it goes?
Absolutely not.
Without rebranding?
Absolutely not.
You know, like, you could have, it might have taken longer. It might have cost you more money. Maybe you wouldn't have gotten it exactly to where it was.
I have no either.
But the journey would have been harder. Let's just face it.
We wouldn't have done it as fast. Listen.
Yeah.
You shot it out. We changed the colors. They were significantly way better. They stood out. People, I wish I knew the woman that wore Arlinghouse, I think, is in all pink, right?
Yeah.
We duplicate that for Titan Pro because of how she stood out.
Right.
Munns stood out, and Munns was a great considerate done with Munns. It was already a well-known company. We added the features, we added the advertising, the branding, the marketing. It made our people feel better. It made them feel proud of where they worked, the way you're wearing Kick Charge, the way I'm wearing LB Capital. You know, I got a bunch of shit on the internet because one of the guys I went to school with, because I said, I don't let anyone wear Eagles clothes or any sports clothes outside of my brand in my company during my hours. And this guy's like disgusting, and his wife's on my Facebook page. Like, I give a shit, right? Like, I give a shit what the trolls say, right? But these people are such idiots. They don't realize when they go to an Eagles game, what's everyone on the sidelines wearing and what's everyone playing the game wearing? What are they wearing?
Yeah, they're wearing the team that they're representing.
Their Eagles gear during their work hours. Why would you not do the same when you're trying to build your brand?
Yeah.
When you walk into McDonald's, is there someone there sitting there with a yellow little whatever it is? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Like, it's not that hard to figure out, but people wonder why not. And you know how many people show up to our masterminds and all these events and they don't wear their
branded?
No, I'm branded. I'm like, how? How are you going to ask people, make you ask who you are, what you are, what you do?
Yeah. Maybe they're not proud of it.
Huh?
Maybe they're not proud of it. It's the only thing I can assume. Maybe it's a shitty brand that they don't want to wear. They don't want to be.
Well, no, but like, I can tell you this, you never see me in
Brandon.
Now, I'll wear Malvern, I'll wear my kids' football, things that are important to me.
Yeah.
But, you know, if I go to an Eagles game, I'll wear an Eagles jersey. Why wouldn't I?
Yeah.
That wasn't the point of my message. The point of my message is...
I saw that message. That's great.
And they're blowing up. But first of all, that's just uneducated people, very uneducated people. They don't understand it.
Yeah.
They rather wear an Eagles jersey while they're out putting out moon bounces and being the cool guy instead of wearing their branded shirt and giving their customer their branded shirt.
That's an image I'm trying to wrap my head around, the moon bounce guy with the Eagles shirt. That's awesome. I love it.
That's a true story.
No,
That's the whole thing. And not that I care. I'm not looking down on what he does for a living.
No.
But maybe you would maybe be the biggest moon bounce company in the country if you just considered your brand, what you did, and really did it. I'm not taking a shot at him. I'm being that serious. Like, I have such an abundance mindset. Like, you can't even trick. Like, you see how I respond to people on social media. I don't fight with them. Like, dude, whatever you think. Like, and why is my opinion so important? Why do you give a shit what I think?
Yeah.
Here's a question for you. Last question. What's next for Dan Antonelli and Kick Charge? Because you got a lot going on. What's next?
So we just launched Kick Charge 1 about a month ago. So Kick Charge 1 is the notion of, again, just everything under one roof. So strategy, brand, marketing collateral, digital, email, and social. So all the aspects of your marketing, one team to help coordinate it, not multiple vendors with their own ideas about how to do your brand or how to execute your brand or your brand voice or your brand story, everything under one roof. So we're super excited about that because the stuff that we hate to see is when we do a brand and then they go to the digital marketing company and they botch the website, or they go to the email company and none of that stuff is on brand, or their social media graphics all look crazy, wrong fonts, wrong colors. And I'm just like, what are we doing? Why do we invest in branding if we're going to be inconsistent across all our channels? So that's something I'm super excited about. You know, I think it's something that people have been asking us a really long time to have a more concerted effort to help coordinate their marketing efforts. So I'm excited about that.
Thank you for being here. Listen, how do people get a hold of you, Dan?
Dan at kickcharge.com. If you want to shoot me a message, you'll go to kickcharge.com.
Oh yeah, Dan, you're gonna be at the roofing conference.
Yes. Yeah.
What did you think of it last year?
Dude, it was awesome. That was a great event last year. I had such a good time. So the venue is just amazing. I'm going to bring my daughter this year, so I'm excited to have her hanging out with me. But it's a great conference. It's one of those conferences where it's not a sales pitch the entire time by different vendors trying to sell people stuff. It's like legit nuts and bolts fundamentals on how to build and scale your business. And it's definitely, I think it's one of my favorites for sure.
Good. I appreciate it. Look forward to seeing you there. If you want to get a hold of you, how do you get a hold of you, Dan?
So they can hit us up at kickcharge.com or Dan at Kickcharge.
Dan at Kickcharge. There it is. Get a picture.